right out into the injectors there, and then it comes all the way across here. So
yeah, that's a fun one. So tell us a little bit about your Duramax here, Skylar.
It's a LPZ Duramax 2006. My dad bought it brand new for the company he works for, and then I bought it from him. Just basically stock transmission tunes on it, 195 GPH, lift pump, fast, intake, exhaust, straight pipe, forged back. It's been a work truck most of the time, but I'll have to change eventually. Hopefully we'll get some time from the Subaru and actually get back to putting money into this one. She rips. It's a fun truck. Good gas mileage. A lot of work to do on it still though.
Yeah, and that makes it going to be a damn good tow rig. You go out to the trails, or if you're going to be taking the Subaru out on the track or anything, you have a backup.
Always have something to tow it with.
Yeah.
And, 15, 16 miles to the gallon and not like a gas truck. Get 6 when you're towing it.
It's still pretty fun to drive though.
Oh yeah, it's heavy. About 9,500 pounds, so it's heavy, but it's got good power. I just, try to stay out of it until I build the transmission and get the transmission built for hopefully about 7, and hopefully be pushing about 600 to it reliably anyway. Anything more than that, then it starts getting a little iffy, but it's a custom tune built by Calibrated Power out of Illinois.
Oh, that's cool.
Duramax tuner guys. I got the TCM tuned and everything to match it, so I spent money on the tunes because I went with a shelf tune like the Bully Dog, and I was not happy with that at all. Ripped it out of there and said, screw that, and we're going to do it right. So,
that was Calibrated Power?
Calibrated Power, yep, DuramaxTuner.com.
We'll have to drop them a link in the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Check the link below. Got the key to our future happiness. Tight, but it fits.
It fits.
It fits. That'll work.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. Duramax lived up.
Yeah, no kidding. So, when you're doing the cross members on these Subarus, helpful tip, when you get to this point to where you have the whole rack and pinion hanging and you have your sway bar hanging and you're thinking, alright, we're almost ready, we just got to get those control arms out. What you're going to want to do, let me bring some light over here. Alright. So what you're going to want to do when you're just ready to pull your control arms is you're going to want to pull these bolts on both sides, the front bolt for the control arms, and then on one side, it doesn't matter either one, you're going to want to pull the front bolt and the rear bolt and let the whole control arm come down. Pull your 4 bolts, which you can see. Let me get you some light. You see them right there. There's 2 of those. They're on either side. You're going to want to pull those on both sides and you're going to let it come down. On the side, let's say it's this side for illustration purposes. If you pull the whole control arm down on this side, you're going to want to bring that cross member down and then slide it towards yourself. And that's going to slide it off of the mount on the other side. Right there. Right there. And then from that point you can just slide it right out. Do bear in mind, transmission is going to be held up by that cross member, so be expected to have some weight, maybe supported with a jack, but it is manageable. It's not going to fall completely out of the vehicle. And then you'll have your cross member out in front of you. Now, the only things that are attached to this are your control arms and your sway bar and that whole rack and pinion. And if you're looking at the rack and pinion wondering how that comes apart, up top here you're going to have power steering lines. If you're in a power steering car, these are hanging down here. There's going to be a 19 and a 17. Those are going to be line nuts. And then there's going to be a 17 and a 14. So you pull those line nuts, you get the lines off the power steering. Those guys are fed through right here. And then over here on this side, the steering knuckle. Not sure if you can see that all too well. I'll show you when we've got it back together as well. But the steering knuckle has just got one bolt. I believe it's a 12 millimeter. You pull that out and it just slides right off. No big deal. But if you have your new cross member in, this is what you should be looking at. So I'll show you a little bit more here in a minute. Alright, so YouTube, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with this intake manifold. My suggestion is that we go for a Tiffany blue scheme on this car. I think the car is going to stay white. For now. I think long term, well, yeah, for now, it's going to stay white. But for the STI intake manifold and all the accent colors on the car, what do you suggest we do for a color on it? Like I said, I think we should go for a Tiffany blue accent scheme on this car.
And there's a good chance we'll paint the turbo to match it, so we'll do the pipes and everything. It'll be pretty good.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to see it all done and matching and looking good. Yeah. So we got the crossmember in finally, like quite an achievement to us after everything we went through for it. But if you're looking to do this swap yourself and you're following this series because you want to put a 207 in your car, important things to know. This crossmember, you only need to replace it if your car was not turboed. If you don't have a turbo, you're gonna need a crossmember, and that is because of the up pipes. And you hit in this section right here where there's a cutout. I don't have good light. Where's the light at? Over here. Alright, so that cutout right there is for the up pipes, and if you don't have a turbo car to begin with, you need to get a new crossmember for that. So with this whole swap, there's a lot of little pieces of information you kind of have to learn. But so if you're going to do the crossmember, it's a pretty easy procedure. I'd recommend having 2 people because there's just kind of a lot of little things that you kind of need an extra set of hands for. But it's pretty simple, man. Once you drop off that cradle, which is that whole beam that's kind of around here, and it's only like 10 volts or something like that, and it drops down. And then it's just a matter of dropping the sway bar and your steering rack and dropping the crossmember, really. That's pretty much just that simple. So a pretty simple project to do. Maybe you just have a rusted out crossmember and you're looking at doing it. Really not that difficult. If you have a motor in the car.
I was gonna say, even to pull it out to paint it, you know what I mean? I just threw some gloss black on it and it looks a million times better. Same with that cradle. You just painted that up a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for a 2002, it's not too bad. Get some of that rust out.
Yeah, looks pretty good now, so I think it's gonna be good. I'm excited to see this project moving forward. Oh, and another cool thing that we got done here is we got rid of those pink lug nuts, put some proper black ones on there, so that looks a million times better. Just, it doesn't pop out. They don't just stand out and go, oh my god, look at, what is that ugly red lug nut
Pink,
on there?
faded, nasty.
So, what is up, YouTube? And welcome.
I did not want it to work.
What's up, YouTube? And welcome to 2020. This is going to be a big year. A lot of things going to be happening. And first thing you're probably noticing in this video you're watching right now is that there's going to be a lot more quality in the actual video. Started to focus a little bit more on the actual production side of things, and I want to make sure you guys are watching content that's enjoyable and pleasurable for you guys to watch. I want to make sure you guys aren't sitting through a lot of nothing, and that everything looks good that you're seeing. So please give me feedback on anything you want to see changed, and I'm happy to help enact those changes. But we're gonna try to do a lot more posting. I think me and Skylar got a few more projects here that are coming up other than Subaru. Skylar's got a few cars. I've got my own. We seem to kind of vibe well in this aspect. So, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of new things coming up. But biggest thing with 2020 is I really want to see this channel grow. I want to see a little bit more of the viewers coming in. I want to see a little bit more engagement, and I think I have a lot of room to improve on these videos that I'm making sure that they're a lot better for you guys to watch. So, like I said, welcome to 2020. It's the race car life, and we are at Skylar's place getting the Subaru done. So, no, it's not going to be done today in this video. Don't get that idea in your head. But we got a lot of progress coming up. One step at a time. This thing is going to be sweet, but we're taking it slow and doing it right. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
You're one and only. Yo.